Hey everybody, Weston here with the Hidden Gibbon, and today I have a budgety, and by budgety I mean like below $500, fun little deck that I've been wanting to build for a while, and couldn't really decide on a commander because I don't want it, but we'll get straight into it. So, who is it? We got Arcades, the Strategist. He is a 3/5 for 1 generic and Bant. Flying Vigilance, and whenever a creature with Defender enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. Each creature you control with Defender assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power, and can attack as though it didn't have Defender. Now, the theme of this deck is going to be walls, and sitting there and defending your kingdom against the onslaught. Now, me personally, I'm trying to do it as thematic as possible, so I'm not actually going to use the other half of Arcades' ability where you can attack with your walls. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. This is a Pillow Fort Commander through and through, commander deck through and through. We have 26 creatures in this deck. First and foremost, we have 2 that are like Ghostly Prison. We have Archon of Absolution, which makes it so creatures can't attack you or planeswalkers you control unless they pay 1. And same with Baird, Steward of Argive. We also have one of our win conditions in here, which is Azor's Elocutors. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a filibuster counter on Azor's Elocutors. Then, if Azor's Elocutors has 5 or more filibuster counters on it, you win the game. Whenever a source deals damage to you, remove a filibuster counter from Azor's Elocutors. Pretty simple. Like I said, the goal here is to put out things with big old booties and block for days. So who are our big booty creatures? We have Bedrock Tortoise. That's a 0/6 for 4, and as long as it's your turn, creatures you control have hexproof, and each creature you control with toughness greater than its power assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. We have Crystal Barricade. It's a 0/4 for 2 that gives you hexproof and prevent all non-combat damage that would be dealt to other creatures you control. Fecund Green Shell. As long as you control 10 or more lands, creatures you control get +2/+2. It has reach. It's a turtle that can reach into the air. A little old snapping turtle. Whenever Fecund Green Shell or another creature you control with toughness or greater than its power enters, look at the top card of your library. If it's a land card, you can put it onto the battlefield tapped. Otherwise, put it into your hand. That's why most of these are in here. They're walls that have utility, right? Like Flump Fear. Flump, whenever he's dealt damage, you and target opponent each draw a card. Look at that. He's a little jellyfish. Fog Bank prevents the combat damage. Fortified Rampart is just a 0/6 for 2. Glacial Walls is 0/7. Guard Gomazoa. This one prevents all combat damage that would be dealt to Guard Gomazoa. It also has flying. You got to be able to block with some flying creatures. Hover Barrier is 0/6 flying. A 100-handed one from my Card of the Day series. Here we are. He has Vigilance. He's a 3/5, and you can pay 6 to make him Monstrous 3, which would make him a 6/8. And then as long as 100-handed one is monstrous, it has reach and can block an additional 99 creatures each combat. It can block all the things. Phyrexian Metamorph. So you can copy one of your walls. Redain. I love Redain and run it in a lot of decks. And the reason is not for their front side, even though the front side is fine. I do like the back side, though. If a source an opponent controls would deal damage to you or a permanent you control, prevent one of that damage. Edict Pyrohemia and Pestilence. And whenever you or another permanent you control becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, counter that spell or ability unless its controller pays 1. So it's gives your stuff ward. We got Riptide Turtle, just a 0/5 flash turtle. Sidar Konda of Jamura is flanking, and creatures your opponents control without flying or reach can't block creatures with power 2 or less. It's pretty funny. Look at him there. It's a pretty unique card. He has Partner. What set is this from? Unsure. Then we have Socrates. He's out here. He has Defender. He has Hexproof as long as he's untapped. And until end of turn, target creature gains if this creature would deal combat damage to a player. Prevent that damage, this creature's controller and that player each draw half that many cards rounded down. We have Steel Wall. I used to play the heck out of Steel Wall back in my kitchen table days. I actually really liked the art for Steel Wall. Then we have Sunscape Familiar. It's a 0/3 for 2, and green spells and blue spells you play cost 1 less. We have Towering Titan, big old giant here. This creature enters with X/1/1 counters on it, where X is the total toughness of creatures you control. Hey, we do have an attacker in here, right? You gotta have at least one. Sacrifice a creature with Defender. All creatures gain trample till end of turn. We've got Wall of Denial. This is a classic originally from Alara block. Defender, Flying Shroud, 0/8 wall. Hard to deal with. Wall of Essence. For each 1 combat damage dealt Wall of Essence, gain 1 life. Wall of Frost. Doesn't untap if you block with it. Wall of Glare may block any number of creatures each combat. And Wall of Tears is... if Wall of Tears blocks any creatures, return each of those creatures to their owner's hand at the end of combat. Here's another win condition in Approach of the Second Sun. You know me, if you've watched any of my deck decks, you know that I love this card and Azor's Executors. Then we have some Wrath abilities with Battle of Bywater, which will spare most of your walls because it kills things with power 3 or greater. We have Fell the Mighty, which is destroy all creatures with power greater than target creature's power. And Expel the Interlopers. Choose a number between 0 and 10. I love this Wrath. I really do. Then we also have Farewell in there. Rite of Replication, make many walls. Last March of the Ants, draw cards equal to the greatest toughness among creatures you control. We have a Chroma's Will to help protect us, Flare Fortitude, Flawless Maneuver. These are your generic standard package, right? Like nothing in here is going to be overly shocking. There's a lot of good cards in Bant. I mean, I put Fog in here, but other than that, you know them, you love them, you've seen all of these. For artifacts, we have Ensnaring Bridge. Creatures with power greater than the number of cards in your hand can't attack. And Meekstone. Any creature with power greater than 2 may not be untapped as normal during the untap phase. Note that with your walls, if you do choose to attack with them, since Arcades lets you, that they get around Meekstone because yes, they assign combat damage with their butt, but they still have a 0 in front for their attack. Ramus Ekor, Ancient Shield. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, draw a card. Then create a 0/3 white wall creature token with Defender. And at the beginning of combat on your turn, creatures you control with Defender gain Exalted. Then we have Slagworm Armor. Just gives something +0/+6. I also used to run this a ton in Kitchen Table Magic. Oh, this is like a yesteryear deck. I love it. I love that. Like, I dug and dug and dug in Scryfall to try to find some goofy stuff. Levitation. Give all your stuff flying. This was so. My very first Kitchen Table Magic deck was a blue-red Drakes and Walls deck. I know. Had like Wind Drake, Wormtongue Drake. Trying to think of the other one. I know the art, but I can't think of it offhand. And I used to, and it would run like Wall of Stone, and I ran Levitation in there to keep my walls flying. But we have assemble the players. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. Once each turn, you may cast a creature spell with power 2 or less from the top. Brave the Sands. Creatures you control have vigilance. Each creature you control can block an additional creature. Extravagant Replication and Imposter Syndrome start pumping out more and more and more walls. Flowering of the White Tree, which I love, gives your stuff ward. Ghostly Prison and Propaganda and Sphere of Safety, all to protect you. We have Restricted Office, which is when you unlock this door, destroy all creatures power 3 or greater. And you can unlock the other half, which is other permanents you control have hexproof. Rolling Stones, walls may attack as though they weren't walls. Look at him. He's a big old wall. He kind of looks like a big stone gingerbread man. Sarah's Blessing, creatures you control have vigilance. We have Spider Silk Armor. Creatures you control get +0/+1 and have reach. Stone Skin, enchanted creature gets +0/+10. Teferi's Ageless Insight, if you draw a card, draw 2 cards instead. The Birth of Meletis gets you a wall. And Vault 75 Middle School. It exiles all creatures with power 4 or greater, and you can put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. For lands, for the most part, we got our Rogue's Passage, we got our Access Tunnel. So although I won't be using it to attack with my walls, I know that other people will, so I'm going to build it that way, right? Other than that, it's a very basic package. Nothing fancy here. Just a nice little short and sweet one. Let me know what you all think in the comments down below. This is, of course, a Bracket 2 deck, and a low Bracket 2 at that. As always, I'm Weston with the Hidden Gibbon, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.